The world I was prepared for does not exist anymore. And that is frustrating and disappointing and unfair, but ultimately I think that is okay. If you're anything like me, and I have a feeling you might be, you were raised with a certain set of expectations for this life. If you do the right things, make the right choices, go to the right school, get the right degree, you'll be able to find the right job, which will lead to the right relationship and bring you all the things that we're hoping we get in this life. Family, money, a sense of fulfillment, happiness. However, the reality of things is much different. These days, it seems like the deck is not only stacked against us, but it's in the complete other room, at a table we can't even sit at. As other people play a game we can only imagine and hope that one day we can play. To me, at least, it feels like all the rules that I thought this life was governed by are kind of set to the wayside. And I don't know if that was a naivety on my part or just bad expectations set on me by my parents and the adults in my life, but I find that things don't follow the path I was told they were following, and that things are harder than I really feel like they should be. Now, when I was younger, I was told you go to college, you get your degree, you get your job that will be your career, and then you build from there. You'll be able to get a house and a family and find your purpose and work for about 40 years or so, and then off you go to retirement, living out your golden years in peace and quiet. However, these days it seems like that reality isn't going to be my reality. It isn't going to be the reality for a lot of people. I have been very fortunate and very blessed in my life to be able to do the things that I do, to be able to work with the people I've worked with, to have the successes that I have. But I would be lying to you if I said that things went even remotely the way I thought they were going to go. I, like so many people before me, went to college and got a degree in something that interested me. Now, it was an art degree, so maybe it wasn't the best choice in the world, but it was still a degree. It was still proof that I had gone through academic struggles and I knew how to study and apply myself. And I left for the big city with bright eyes and big dreams, ready to chase down my destiny. But things didn't go the way I thought. I eventually became disillusioned with dealing with artistic people. So I had a degree that really didn't have any use or application for me. I bounced between a few different jobs and eventually found one that I was pretty successful at. But it didn't fulfill me in a way that I was told by my father and my grandfather I would be fulfilled by work. I was making good money, sure, but I was losing a part of myself in the process, selling some small part of my soul for an extra zero on my salary. And I think deep down I knew that this wasn't my final landing spot, that this wouldn't be my career for the rest of my life. And that belief was eventually reinforced when they decided that they could afford to liquidate my whole sales team. The friends I had in high school and college that I thought were going to be lifelong friends that I was going to grow up alongside, and our families would eventually vacation together, and my friends' kids would call me uncle, and I would call my friends' kids my niece and nephew. We don't talk anymore. We've drifted apart, and not for any malicious reason, but just because the tide of life is constantly changing. Things come up, people move, and unfortunately, something has to give. I say all of this to say that no, life isn't fair. It doesn't go the way that we're told it will, and the world that we were being prepared for does not exist anymore. Our parents and our teachers and the people looking out for us couldn't have known that was going to be the case. And at the end of the day, while it is frustrating for sure, I take solace in the fact that I learned a lot of things along the way. I picked up a lot of skills and learned to adapt and improvise in ways I never would have if things just followed the perfect plan. Were all the roadblocks along the way frustrating at the time? Absolutely. But I wouldn't be as three-dimensional of a person if I didn't go through those difficulties, if I wasn't challenged by them. I think of it like the plot of a movie or TV show. If everything just went perfectly, they had a goal and they set out, and then at the end of the movie, they met that goal and there was nothing along the way, no twists, no turns, no difficulties to overcome. Well, that would be a pretty damn boring movie to watch. And the same applies to TV shows, the same applies to music. You need those changes, those rises and falls to make things dynamic and interesting. The same thing happens with video games. So why wouldn't the same thing apply to your life? I know personally, if I got everything I thought I wanted when I was 20 years old, I would be a hollow, empty, sad shell of the person I am now. I wouldn't have the ability to talk in front of people the way I do now. I wouldn't have the editing and YouTube skills that I picked up, needing to find some side hustle to make money, to make ends meet in the city. I wouldn't have met the woman who would eventually become my wife. And I wouldn't have been able to look objectively at my life in that city and realize that this wasn't going to work out for me and I needed to make a change and move. I could have got everything I thought I wanted back then and still not have been a tenth as happy as I am right now after going through all those trials and tribulations. So while we were lied to, yes, the world we were prepared for does not exist in the way that we thought it would, and we need to overcome and adapt. What I can promise you is that by overcoming, by challenging yourself, and by rising to the occasion, you will become the best version of yourself possible. You will become stronger and wiser and a more fully fleshed out, well-rounded person than you ever thought you could be. The world we thought we were going to walk into one day doesn't exist anymore. But the person we thought we were back then doesn't exist anymore either. We are a better version of ourselves, someone who is better equipped to overcome anything and everything that is thrown at them. And to me, that makes all the difference. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video today. If you have any other topics you'd like to see me cover or any questions you'd like me to answer, please let me know in the comments down below. And as always, make sure to eat well, stay hydrated, take care of yourself and those around you. And I'll see you in the next one, friends.